Yo, Scott, what's up?
What's going on, my friend?
Hey, man, how you doing, man? Welcome to Getting Lumped Up, man. I'm glad you have some time to talk to us.
No problem, my friend. No problem. I just wish we could do it in person, But
I know, and have some nice Jack Daniels to go down with the conversation.
yes, this is true. This is true. Well, maybe I'll pour myself a shot of Tito's to enjoy this.
So, dude, let me ask you a question. How glad that you're retired? You kind of don't have to deal with this.
Well, it's mixed feelings, my friend. Obviously, and I have a friend that lives in Thailand now that he retired about 5 years ago, and he sent me this text. At first I was having trouble dealing with the idea. You do something for 20 years, it's not easy just to walk away. It becomes a
Yeah,
party,
of course.
And, I'm glad that I don't have to deal with all this stress and whatever, but also, I became a cop to help people. And this is when people need help the most, And, during 9/11, my version of 9/11 is going to be very different from yours. I was working so much that I never got a chance to watch the news. Me watching the news during this disaster is completely different.
But let me
It's
tell you,
not.
I stopped watching the news because these reporters are just fear mongers. They just try and scare the shit out of people, and they're like idiots.
Yeah, when this first started, for a couple of days, I had stayed in before everyone was forced to stay in. And if you believe everything on the news, when you stand outside, you're like, this is not what they're reporting. They're showing all the doom and gloom and the worst case scenarios, I just saw a little bit of a report of a nurse that she's chronicling, and she said, the other day, 45 people got discharged. So everything isn't what they're showing us. And that's kind of funny. I don't want to get into specifics, but I saw certain things from being a cop, the way the news was portraying things that just weren't accurate, And unfortunately, back in the day, people used to report the news and just report the news. They didn't have their personal opinion as part of the newscast, or they would tell you that was part of their newscast. This is my opinion. Now every channel has a Democratic view or a Republican view. That's not the news. That's an editorial.
Yeah, that's pretty much people giving their opinion, especially where you live in New York or California or any like liberal state. They're pretty much spoofing you a lot of shit because you know what people forget. There's a whole other country out there, and a lot of the people think a lot different than you do. So you got to be careful.
Well, I mean, for the better part of my life now, Rob, I've lived in New York City just like you did. You lived your whole life in New York City.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people and places that are so different from the views that we have and the things that we, part of it is our own personality and part of it is, the environment we grew up in.
Let me tell you, I've been to different states, and once in a while you go to another state, and you go to like Nashville, and any commercial you go, there's pretty much aim at the Republicans.
Yeah.
They like telling you, oh, don't vote for socialism, do this, do that, and then you come to New York, and it's like the opposite commercial. Oh, don't vote for this guy and that. It's so funny how different, like the news, even the commercial and stuff. It's very funny.
Yeah, and when you're on vacation, I mean, how much do you watch TV? But even if you watch TV for a little half hour, you're like, it's just a little bit different,
I just, you know what? I was probably watching because sometimes you go to the hotel at night. I might turn on the TV just to go to sleep, and you see like different commercials and stuff,
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit! It's a whole different world, Even the way people think, or even the way people look, or where you act. People like when you go out to another places, people pretty much know that you're a New Yorker.
And then just think about if you were at home and I took the train from my house, just the amount of people I come across.
Oh
just,
yeah.
Just not. I may not even talk to them, but I might brush past them. I encounter more people on my trip to your house than people live in these small towns in the middle of the country.
Oh yeah. Dude, how much are you enjoying those parties that I'm throwing that I'm not even there?
Well, it was funny just the way that worked out. It was I was going to meet Greg and Eric and just have a drink in the park now that it's legal, that you can take things to go. And now it's kind of become like a weekly thing. And it's, we socially distance in the backyard. We all have our little chairs and we have our beverages. But it's the one thing that's getting me through. One day a week, I need to have some social interaction. People are social beasts,
Yeah, and have you noticed when you go to the store now or you do anything, how people look at you? Like everybody look at you like you're an alien, and if you come too close to somebody, they're like, "Fuck you, man."
I went to the deli by my house, and there was this little Indian girl there, and I tried to walk past her, and she looked like she was like a deer in headlights. She didn't know what to do. I'm like, just move out of the way, or I will move out of the way for you. This is not the end of the world, lady.
Yeah, I was talking to Eric, and Eric got a different view because I'm saying, let me ask you, you being a retired cop and an ex terrorist enforcement, how you think this is going to change after all this shit is over? How much you think people would change after this shit?
I think there's going to be certain things that change, but mostly, I think, I mean, I don't know when this is going to end, but I think when we get closer to like a year past this, I think a lot of us are just going to go back to our own ways. Listen, I look at it this way. Even if they didn't have all these rules, if I went to the bar, I'm going to shake my friend's hand. I'm going to hug the people that I would hug. Like, if they keep talking that this is going to change the world, well, I'm happy with the world. And you know what? I think I told you this the other day. I'm like, if you told me I had to live under these conditions for 3 or 4 years, or you gave me the option, give me the virus now. I'll see if I survive it. I don't want to live under these conditions for 4 years.
This is insane. It's not going to be 4 years. They just try and find a cure or something. But it's weird how everybody just is rolling over and not even fighting it. People just staying home or like me. I got I live in the city in the apartment, and I said, I'm going to go up to the country because if I can't go outside or go to a bar, what the fuck am I going to do in my apartment?
Yeah, at least now that the weather's getting nice, I mean,
I'm getting the hell out of here. So I came to upstate, and I'm not even a country boy, but now I've been here. What I've been doing, just reading a lot. There's a lot of shit you can learn also while you're down for this much of a time. You can
how to chop wood and stuff.
It's a bad blade. I need that Rick Grimes blade that you can that you just got.
Yeah. But I think you probably discussed this with Eric. One thing that really upsets me is certain things that the politicians are putting. You probably discussed the thing with the masks, right?
Yeah, there's a whole shit, but technically the mask is only. You know what the mask does?
To keep you from affecting other people.
That's all it does. And you know what? That's all it is. But if somebody sneezes at you and it lands in your arm, that mask got nothing. You're fucked.
And me and Eric have discussed this because we both, from his military time and me from the NYPD, we did biochemical hazmat training. And unless you deal with the gloves in the proper manner and you deal with the mask in the proper manner, it's going to hurt you. It's not going to help you.
You know what? You pretty much need to use the fucking gloves just when you're like maybe walking around and touching stuff. But other than that, you got to wash them, take them off. Because you know what? That shit can infect you as quick as anything else.
No, exactly. There's a great picture that I saw on Facebook that is exactly there's 2 pictures actually I saw. One is of a guy that is in the supermarket and he's using his teeth to pull the glove off.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And there's another one that is this lady's talking to the lady at the counter and her little kid is licking the cart.
Oh man, you know which ones I saw? I saw it's a nurse on the train, right?
Yeah.
And she's like eating her McDonald's and she still got the glove on. Yeah, dude, this is some weird shit that we're living through, man. Do you ever think you would see something like that, like this shit?
No. Well, here's the other funny point, and you don't play the same type of games that I do, but me and Eric love the game The Division, which is based on a communicable disease, gets launched in New York City. And
Dude, you know what I keep thinking? The Last Ship.
oh yeah, that was a great show, man.
That was great.
I was so upset when that show went off. It was well done, very well done.
But it had a good ending, you know. It had to end somehow. You know, you
Yeah,
couldn't
or
keep
the way they
going.
tied it up was very nice, you know.
I thought it had a good beginning, it had a good middle, and it had a great ending. I thought the show was superb.
Yeah, but so you've been upstate for like a month now. You going through New York City withdrawal, man?
Dude, I've been here. Yeah, I'm actually been here. You know what day is it? In the 18th is a month. You know what? I'm already used to it, man. I'm a person. I get used to my environment. I can change it. The only thing I regret that I didn't fucking get my leather jacket and a red car and became Negan and started the saviors out in the East Village and just whacking everybody. We're just taking your shit. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well,
take over the whole building. Fuck it.
No, I'm thinking of the face that Rick Grimes made on the episode when they introduced Negan.
Yeah,
and he's just sitting there shaking.
It was incredible. Check the shit is like it's weird, man. Like, you know, people ain't going out. And the other day, I think I heard the most offensive thing the other day from Chuck Schumer and fucking AOC. More brown people are getting infected by this shit. I said, what do you mean by brown people?
But here's the thing. When I started to hear that, and I'm not even going to say it is brown people or black people or whatever. But
what do you mean by brown people? You call it black people, Spanish people, brown? She just say brown people, and so did fucking the other idiot. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you people? And nobody called them out for being racist. That's probably more racist than anything else I've heard in a long time.
But they're trying to like make it into like, oh, I'm going to save them or whatever. It's just poor neighborhoods. More people are dying. Why? That's the way it always works. You don't have access to the best doctors. You don't have, you know, like if some guy walks into a hospital on the Upper West Side in a 3-piece suit with a gold watch, who's going to get taken him first? Him or a homeless guy? The homeless guy is going to be sitting there for hours.
You want to hear something? Actually, when you're a doctor, you take that oath. You're supposed to take everybody in, no matter who it is. You know that?
Yeah, the Hippocratic Oath, I believe it's called.
Pretty much when you take that, you're supposed to. Doesn't matter religion, creed, alien, whatever the fuck you are. You're supposed to fucking help a person. You're in the business of helping. Doesn't matter. That's why a lot of time when you go to the hospital, you go to the emergency room. They're not coming out there asking for your insurance right away. They take care of you, and then, you know what? Sometimes there'll be hospital. You'll be surprised. There'll be hospital that'll get you insurance, believe it or not.
Yeah.
As much as people talk about, look at Italy. Whether it was Italy a shit show, because they had that universal health care, and that shit doesn't always work. You know what? In New York, you go to the hospital, they do this shit, and sometimes you don't even get a bill. Like, people don't realize that shit.
Well, I just wouldn't. I've been to the hospital several times. A lot of times I was lucky enough that I got hurt at work and I was in uniform, so they took me fairly quickly. But I can't imagine the wait times now. In a New York City hospital waiting room, you have to wait like 12 hours on a good day. I can't imagine how long people got to wait now.
Let me tell you, it's not that. Because if you go on a Friday, Saturday, or Thursday night when people are out and you get a gunshot or shit like that, people talk about nightmares on Fridays and Saturday. And you know what? Those people are pretty much being taken care of. Even if they're a gangbang or whatever, they're pretty much taking care of those people, believe it or not.
Well, those people get taken to a level 1 trauma center.
Yeah, and you know why? And it's different. Like, if you got a cold, you got a cold. If you wait 4 or 5 hours in the emergency room, but it's different if you're having a fucking heart attack. They're going to take you. You know, you also got to look at the level of, if you scratch your hand or whatever, or cut yourself, you can wait a few hours. It's not that critical.
But I mean, I'm not criticizing the politician about what I'm about to say, but if you notice, all the predictions were that we're going to need this many hospital beds and this many ICU. Now, they're scaling back all the numbers. Now, I don't know if they just made an honest mistake or they were making a doomsday prediction because they wanted people to comply, but
I think they made a doomsday prediction because even if you look at the world scale, you know, there's probably about 2 million people that actually are infected. And then even when you look at the people that died, there's probably close to 200,000 people that have died.
Yeah.
But they also they don't talk about how many people are being recovered. It's like over 500,000 people that have recovered from this. That's what the number they don't want to give you.
Well,
A lot more people have recovered that have died. And if you look at the people that have died, you're either overly healthy or you're old. Those are the people that are dying. There's no in between. You're either overly too healthy or you're old and you're dying, which is fucking weird. That's what this virus is like. A little bit like, damn, this guy was perfectly healthy and dropped dead. It's a weird fucking virus,
and the numbers that I'm about to tell you that I was looking at, this is from a few weeks ago from Italy, when Italy was at its height, is that most of the people that died in Italy had anywhere from 1 to 3 other illnesses, and they were over the age of 60. So, I mean, listen, we all have people that are over 60 that we care about or whatever, but imagine if this was a very different virus and it was killing people under 20. That'd be a lot more scary to me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like my grandmother, and I love my grandmother, but she was 89 when she passed away, and she was like, Scott, I'm ready to go. I had a long, good life. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I just, we talked about this before, is that how many precautions are we going to take to keep all these old, sick people alive if it's going to take our country 15 years to recover economically from this? You know what I mean? Like, what price are we going to give up to do things the way we're doing now? Usually when you have a quarantine, the sick people get put in some place. Not everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. But look at my grandmother. My grandmother is like 98, and she said, what the fuck is everybody worried about? She said, she still goes out to get her grocery and stuff. And you know what? She's not scared. She's like, whatever. She said, if it's going to hit me, it's going to hit me. The same thing, like my dad's still going out. My mother's like one of those people that she thinks she has everything.
Well, something I said this
and
summer.
She's like, don't go out. Don't go out.
Yeah.
He said, I need to get a drink.
If my grandmother was still alive, she wouldn't be putting up with any of this shit. She'd be like, I'm going to see my grandchildren. That's the reason that I'm still alive, is because I want to see my grandchildren. You tell me I can't see my grandchildren, I have no reason to live anyway. She was a strong, stubborn lady,
You want to hear? You seen the one that I put the thing up with the old lady that I need beer?
Yes. Do you know they gave her like cases and cases of beer?
Dude, people are giving her cases and cases of beer. I was laughing. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is great. She didn't give a fuck about food. I need beer.
So today, Cuomo announced that the pause in New York State is going to go on until May 15th now.
Yeah, they extend. You know what? I don't think nothing's going to happen to June.
One of the things that me and Eric Moore agreed on was I think they're going to try and do something shady when they start opening the bars, that they're trying to scale back the 4:00 opening. Like, the bars can be open until midnight.
I think that's what they're going to do. I see that happening. I think they're really going to start doing opening just to midnight. They're going to do something, and if you open at your own risk, because right now they got bars opening from 12 to 8.
Yeah, I think the ones that are doing the to-go cups or whatever. But
you know what? In that case, if you're going to do that, you got to let people be able to drink outside for a while.
Yeah, that was a strange little caveat but I guess they were trying to keep the bars. But I mean, I can't imagine that even a bar that's doing really well with this. What would you say, Rob? You know better than me. They probably get 20% of their normal business, if that.
Oh yeah, they're probably doing 20%. They're not doing full blown they're doing between 10 to 20%. You're not doing numbers like You're not doing like let's say on a Good Friday night. If you were doing like $10,000, you're probably doing between 1,000 to 2,000, maybe three the most.
Yeah.
You're not because first of all, everybody got to stand 6 feet away. Because now if you don't stand 6 feet away, you actually get a fine, $1,000 fine.
I think that's going to be few and far between, though. The one thing I'm not a big fan of Governor Cuomo, but I do think I like most of the things he's doing as far as handling this. In his press conference, he acts like a human being. He isn't just he tries to be personal.
Dude, but you know what I was telling Eric, and to me the biggest fucking, you know what, him and Trump worked actually pretty good. He even got a little shit for working with Trump, but you know what? Trump gave him whatever he wanted, pretty much. You can say whatever you say, whatever he needed, Trump gave. There's no thing. And then here's the other thing that just happened. When the World Health Organization, Trump shitted on them, and you know what? He was right to shit on them, because you know what? Pretty much we asked the World Health Organization, is this virus going to be a problem? And they were trying to hide it. You know who told us that this shit was going to be a problem? It was the CDC actually said, dude, you're going to have a problem. You better start shutting shit down. Do you know that?
And the one thing, and like you said, there was a particular broadcast of Cuomo that he was talking about Trump. And he's like, listen, I quite often criticize Trump, but when he comes through for me, I got to give him credit. And I appreciated that. There's too much business in our country right now that it's the Democrats versus, this is about people's lives. Whoever you are, whether you're Republican or independent or whatever, you swore to uphold the Constitution and to keep the American people safe. You didn't swear to like, oh, I'm a Democrat and then I'll keep people safe. Or I'm a Republican and I'll keep people safe.
You're here for the people, by the people. So you're supposed to tell you whatever's taking from you, got to do what those people want you to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, you're right. It's about people's life, and people need to go out there and do the thing. But now with this shit happened, they also violate a lot of fucking constitutional law. Also, people don't even realize that shit.
Well, I mean, me and Eric have been arguing with people about that, and the one thing is that just because we have a state of emergency doesn't mean that you can take away my right to assemble, my right to protest, my right to religious freedom, But, I just, as much as, I'm not religious, but I find it funny that the Hasidic Jewish community constantly gets away with just like breaking the law and there's no consequences for them.
Oh, there'll be consequences if they get this shit and a lot of their people start dying. Guess what? They're gonna be like separating real quick. The problem is, where do they go?
Yeah.
Like they're the kind of people, they got nowhere to go.
This is true.
You know what? They pretty much stick together. They do. You know what? They're probably at the end of the day, they'll probably go, we're gonna take our losses. We're gonna do this, and whoever survived, that's it. Because what do you do when you're, remember when they had that fucking measles outbreak?
Yes.
Those people, that's what happened with those communities. Those people are like that. They're like their own little thing. You guys want to protect yourself, you're going to do that. You know what? You're on your own. Good luck. Pretty much is the only thing you can do. Because if you do say something, you're a racist.
Yeah, and I just don't believe everyone should be held to the same standard of the law,
It's the same thing like if you go to an Amish neighborhood, you take a picture, they're going to lump you up. Let me ask you another question. How you think, once this is over, how you think people are going to act like around people? Do you think bars are going to be packed again like they used to?
Well, I'm going to put a caveat, and I think the caveat will make you laugh, is that I think a lot of bars, the amount of customers isn't going to be the same it used to be. But to the places with the hardcore drinkers that me and I think things are pretty much going to be exactly the same.
Oh, I think that. Like I was telling Marty, I think International will be packed, like Dots will be packed, 7B. There's going to be a lot of places that. But you know what I really think? I think once this happens, I think you're going to lose a lot of the older drinkers. they might really not go out and drink as much as they used to because they're a little
Yeah,
scared,
yeah.
you know. So like a lot of the older people that we had, they're gonna be like, you know what, I don't know if I want. So that might be the thing that changed. I think it'll affect day drinking a little bit, but it would definitely fuck up night drinking.
Well, yeah, you know what? I think the younger people that just passed their 22nd, 23rd birthday, they didn't go through 9/11 the way we did. We were a
Yeah, but those people that also go out. They go out like once a week.
But I think this is going to be a moment that changes the way they look at things. Like for me and you, I'm going to guess that 9/11 probably really changed the way we look at the world. I think me and you, our views are already formed, and maybe a few points can shift a little bit, but nothing's going to change the way we believe things should work. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
But if you're 22 or 23, like, oh my God, we'll never do that again. We need to buy a house on Long Island with a big backyard so we don't have to go to crowded bars.
You know what? That's exactly. You know what's happened? Cities like New York, I think, are going to suffer from a little bit of population because people are not going to want to live like that. Everybody on top of each other. It's going to take at least 10 years before people forget about this shit.
Yeah, but
act normal.
The one thing that you're forgetting, right? Now, I agree with you that people are going to want to do that, but the people that live and work in cities have very different occupations than the people that live in the country. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
The guy that went to school for like industrial engineering, electrical, he isn't going to give up on his education, But the one thing we didn't say that I think we have to is, and listen, I'm going to say it about nurses and doctors, but the one thing is you got people that work in grocery stores now, delivery people that they're putting themselves in harm's way, and they're not getting the credit that other people get. And me as
oh yeah, of course. Let me tell you, do you really want to go to a shitty grocery store and have to work and serve people? No, but they're doing it. Yeah, they're up there with the nurses and doctors. They're the first line of defense, especially the delivery guys, man. And I don't think they're getting that much respect, man. Even the people that's going to the bodega. You know what's the worst part about this whole situation? If you were like an illegal, let's say if you didn't have any documentary, you can't even collect unemployment, collect nothing. What's going on with those people?
Yeah, but I have an interesting question for you. So Rob, yesterday I got my stimulus. Yeah,
Me
you know
too.
what it was? My stimulus was $22.45.
You're making too much money.
But now, is everyone that's getting an employment in New York gets $600 and they get an additional $600 from the state, or?
So let me tell you the way it's working right now. I'm on unemployment. I get about $391, right? But what I did, I had taxes taken out, so I get $343 because I'd rather have the taxes taken out so it doesn't hurt me at the end, And with the $600, I'm on top of the $300 I'm getting. I also get on top of that, I get $600, but they're taking out $60 for taxes, so I'm getting $540. So every week I'm getting $883 a week.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And you know what? That's for me. It's good. I can pay my rent. I can pay all my bills, and I still have money to to parlay.
To buy the bottle of Jameson.
Yeah, to stay home.
All right, Rob. I'm going to pour myself a shot of Tito's.
You go pour yourself a nice healthy shot, man. And Tito's Vodka, if you out there, I am looking for a sponsor.
Tito's Vodka from Austin, Texas. Here's to you, Texas.
Yes. How strange is that, Scotty? You know what's funny? You retire and all the bars closed down. What the fuck do you do to us? What kind of deal do you do?
I mean, Rob, you heard me talk about thinking about moving to someplace like Costa Rica or the DR or whatever. But
Oh yeah.
Listen, if people get stupid in this country and want to try and keep these hard bottom lines of staying at home for like a year or two, screw you guys. I'm fucking going someplace where I can have a good time.
You, you know what the problem is? You can't leave.
Well, there are ways around it. Maybe I would have to like be in quarantine in Costa Rica for 2 weeks or something. You know what I mean?
You better take that Scotty U-boat, if you know what I mean.
But
dude, do you hear that crazy thing where Venezuela did? So Venezuela got like a pirate ship to try to take over a cruise ship, and when the pirate ship hit the cruise ship, the pirate ship sank.
well, listen,
And that's what we said, like a bunch. You know what? It's Venezuela is desperate. Now that since nothing's going on, they got all this oil. Nobody's buying shit, and they're desperate for
I
money.
had this conversation one time because I was looking into different things that I could do when I retired if I chose that I wanted to work. So, for a second, Rob, do you mean to tell me that you think that a cruise ship, that just for the ship alone is probably worth like what, $500 million, maybe more than that?
Oh, that's what they wanted, and they would have taken the people hostage and charged money and taken whatever valuables they got. They would have got that would have been a payday.
So,
for
if
some
you
pirates.
own that cruise ship, you mean to tell me that you're not going to employ, say, 10 highly trained ex-military guys that have a locker?
Oh, of course, you're gonna have
with
people
heavy weapons.
Course, yeah.
And what was funny is one day I ended up talking to a ship's doctor, and you figure the ship's doctor, he's kind of like Love Boat. He was pretty up there on the scale, right? So I don't know if he was playing dumb with me, or I said I was in uniform, and I said, "Sir, you know anything about the people that do security with like heavy weapons?" "Oh, we don't have anyone like that on the ship." I'm like, "Sir, I'm telling you, I know about security ideas. And if you don't have that much money and wealth, I'm not even, think about just the money on the people on the ship, right? How much money they have. And you're not going to protect that? You're out of your mind."
You're definitely going to protect that, because a cruise ship is like a floating city almost. You need to have cops. You tell me some people are not going to be knucklehead if there's the opportunity to take advantage of something, they're going to do it.
Come on, maybe not that I'm a big fan of these movies, but like Ocean's 11 or whatever, maybe the next one, like Ocean's 14, should be they steal from a casino on a cruise ship.
That would be funny. But how much money can you really steal from a cruise ship? There'll still be a few million, but like maybe actually there'll probably be like 100 million. You think when you think about just the ship itself, And it also depends how long you go on sea for.
Well, here's my question, Rob. How long am I going to have to wait to have my retirement party now?
Oh, shit, man. The retirement party got pushed back again. Because it's crazy, man. Who the hell... Dude, were you even thinking of something like this happening once you retire?
Well, I mean, there were things a little weird. And, everyone that no matter how much you like or dislike the job, when you leave, you have doubts, And I was talking with one of my coworkers that retired the same day as me, and she's like, Scott, she's like, I'm just not ready to go through another 9/11 type experience, Like it was different because I was young and, I was brand new and I was motivated, and I worked 16 hours a day, like 6 days a week. Sometimes I went like 2 weeks without a day off. I just don't have that in me anymore, I couldn't do that again.
You know what? You know what's amazing, man? So I've been up here for almost a month. You know what's a kind of crazy feeling? Not having to have to get up early to go to work or do anything. It's a crazy feeling.
Well, that's like, and just when I was about to sign up for a gym, all this happened, and I'm like, now when the gym's open again, I'm like, I can't even get my ass to get out of bed. How am I going to get myself to go to a gym?
Dude, it's amazing, man. So let me see. What's your average day since you've been stuck at home? What do you do like on an average day,
Uh, I
Scotty?
I tend to wake up around like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. The later I wake up, the better. I'll watch the news for a little bit. Then if I woke up really early, I'll end up taking a nap after I eat breakfast. Then I'll play the division for about 2 or 3 hours. Then I'll eat my lunch. And I actually bought a lot of food and stuff. Like every day I used to go to Rite Aid. That was like the highlight of my day. And I would just buy some stupid shit, just because it was to go out. And it's a little different now that we started having the party at Rossi's. So at least
Yeah.
once a week we have that to look forward to. And I spoke with Greg and some of the other invitees. And once we get into May, we might start doing it 2 days a week because we figure the weather will be a little nicer.
The weather will probably be nicer. Right now, the weather, this week, I think the nicest day probably going to be Monday. It's going to be like 62 degrees, as they're saying. And it's going to be a little cloudy, but it'll be warm.
And what's funny, and I think you'll appreciate this, Rob, like just think if you were down here and you could meet up with us, right? The next day, it's like all depressing. Like oh, I got to interact with other people. And you're like, oh, it's another week until I get to do it again.
And then the problem is you're also all hungover because I talked to you the next day. You were like, don't disrespect, but I'm still hungover.
Well, you know what? After the last day, I actually woke up without a hangover. So.
Oh, so you're getting your body back to fighting shape, to drinking shape.
Come on, man! I've been for 20-something years, and just after 1 month, you're like, I'm a lightweight. It's like being an Olympic athlete. You got to keep training.
Yeah. Training that liver. You want to hear something crazy? So I've been doing the shows remotely. I still do the show every week. I do it with John. But if you look at if you go to Getting Lumped Up, on YouTube, I've been doing a new concept, Scotty. You know what I've been doing for the freak show? Hot girls in bikini, and me and John are talking. So you need to listen to me and John, but you can see all these hot girls on bikini, and I'm getting like 100 hits, 200 hits.
Nice.
You know what? Hey, whatever works.
You know what? When you come back in town, we got do another one of those days at Down the Hatch with Tommy London. That was a fun day.
Oh yeah, Tommy London, he's a good guy. We definitely gotta go there. Especially, I gotta figure out how my schedule is gonna be because I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna be open, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Where I'm gonna work at or what the hell to do. I figure international will probably be open, and depending what happened, man. I've been talking to Marty. I might just I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do.
Why, you think you'll be working more at international than you were?
You know what? I don't want to say too much until it happens. Yeah. So, but we got there's going to be a little different thing going on, So it might be good,
Just I don't know if this happened with you on Facebook. I'm in a couple of groups that people just adopted me into, like coronavirus 8 o'clock shot and coronavirus this or whatever. So most of it is random people I don't know, and they're like, so what's gonna be different, or when things go back to normal? And I said, I'm just gonna appreciate my normal everyday life of going to the bars with all my friends every day. I don't need anything special. I just need the way things used to be.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people, they don't need to get used to it, because it's definitely. I think people are gonna bug out in the first couple of weeks. Going out. Because it's funny, we're going through a little bit. People don't even look at it. We're going through a little bit of almost 1984 kind of shit, where people are dropping the dime on each other if they see groups. The kids are dropping dime on their parents for hanging out. Dude, it's so.
Who, you mean like your upstairs neighbor?
That neighbor, I don't even know who that is. There used to be an old lady that lived in the next building, and she used to call the cops all the time.
The famous Rob Rossi
You know?
party extravaganza.
Oh, oh yeah, we used to throw a hell of a party there. We will be lumped up for 3 days. The best was the next day, finding people in the apartment. Oh, you slept
What
over?
about Free the Lobsters?
Oh my God! You know what's the best thing when fucking John Boy
He's
fell
choking
on the
himself.
chair on the table? He was choking himself, and nobody went to help him.
He even said to Greg, "Are you going to help him?" And Greg was like, "No."
That was so fucking funny, man. Dude, but it's amazing how shit is right now, man. Like, you know what? This is. I never thought I'd be in a situation where everybody stay at home, don't go out, this and that, and who the hell? I'm telling you, once this shit is over, man, I think we're gonna be living a very different America. And you know what? We gotta see like, how many bars you think are gonna survive this shit being closed for this long.
But so
You
listen,
know?
I can't speak from the business point of view of being the owner, but something's got to happen, Rob. And I don't know whether it's some other stimulus or something. Think about for a second, just half of all the bars and half of all the restaurants we know, if they all close down at once, like that is economic disaster for New York City. Those landlords aren't going to get their money. The companies that supply the food to the restaurants, the beer distributors, like they can't let that happen unless they figure out some way to put a cork in the leaking vessel. The ship is going to sink, you know?
You know what? That's pretty much what's gonna happen. All these businesses are going. You ever heard of the place called Lucky Stripe?
Yes,
Lucky
I
Strike?
don't think I've ever, maybe I've been there once, but
It's a restaurant. It's a restaurant. It's the same person that owned the French restaurant, Babazal, and
gotcha.
all those other restaurants. The the guy, you know what the guy just say today, pretty much on social media. He say he's done with that restaurant.
Really?
He's closing it. Cause he say he can't
Yeah.
afford the closure. So think about that. That's it. That restaurant been there for 31 years, and you're just going to close it down because of this shit. You know what? How many people you think he had working there? A good 50, 60 people now? Now you have a bunch of people that are out
Well,
of a job.
here's something a little deep for Rob. Are you familiar with the job called actuary? So an actuary
No.
is like a guy that went to school for like serious math, and they figure out like they work a lot
Okay.
with insurance companies and stuff like this. So they'll figure out like for an
Okay.
insurance company, they figure out in a way how much is a human life worth. I know it's a hard thing, but think about it, that's the way companies operate. Or like when people make
Yeah,
a
of
law
course.
that says you don't have to stop at a red light. Like on Long Island, you can stop at the red light and then make the turn on red. Now, having that law
Yeah.
costs people lives because there's a certain amount of accidents. But they also say, oh, well, we're going to save this many millions because we're saving money on gas. So the actuary is the guy who actually figures out what is cost beneficial. How much is that life worth? How much is that gas worth? Like, I know it sounds cold, but I mean, this is what happens all the time. When are we going to decide that some people, it's horrible, people are going to die, but when are we going to say that we want our country to survive economically as opposed to, you know? And I'm not trying to sound cold, but I'm like,
Yeah.
think
But,
about like if we go into another Great Depression, you know?
dude, you want to hear something funny? You want to hear something funny? You remember a
Well,
Fight
we don't
Club?
talk about Fight Club.
But the guy, that was the guy's
Oh, he
job,
was an
remember?
actuary? Okay.
Yeah, remember he went to see that car that was destroyed. He had, and the person he had to give an
Yeah.
estimate of how much it was worth. That was pretty much his job. That's when he
Yeah.
was all fucked up too, because he had to put a number on human life and all that shit. A lot of people miss that,
Yeah.
so it's crazy. But you know what? This is the problem, Scotty. You know what this thing might start like like a world depression.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think so.
It's not far from becoming a world. Either either like all those either millionaires or people like that are gonna have to give up a lot of money just to keep people happy, or what's gonna happen? These millionaires are gonna have to run for their life because people will be so desperate they're gonna get themselves in posse, or there's gonna be a world war. There's gonna have to be like a World War III or something, you know. So, because think about it, do you want to buy anything from China right now? You want shit that say American made now. You don't want that shit saying China because what the fuck do you know that they might have in it? And if you remember The Simpsons, do you remember the Simpson episode where they had a bunch of Chinese people just coughing in boxes and send it to America?
No, but I'll have to check that out.
The Simpsons pretty much predicted the coronavirus, dude. They predicted something again. It's crazy. But pretty much now when you get like, you know what? Don't buy any jersey from China for the next couple of years. They might send you a special coronavirus express in that shit.
That's funny.
You know? And you, dude, think about how fucked up this is, Scotty. Think about how it fucked up the NCAA, fucked up hockey, fucked up basketball.
Yeah, like
think of all
remember the days you'd have like a sports almanac and you could look up like the last 30 years? Like there'll be an asterisk for 2019 season. What happened? Who won the Stanley Cup? No one.
Nobody. I think, you know what do you do with that? Because actually the NHL was talking to a few stadium, like they wanted to go to one city and just do the hockey playoff.
Well, baseball was talking about that in Arizona, right?
Yeah, baseball took Arizona. Look at wrestling. The only live sports you're getting right now is wrestling. Because Vince McMahon pretty much went to the governor and said, dude, we're essential workers, right? The governor said, yeah, you guys are essential workers. And he's still getting wrestling 3 times a week from the WWF. And then in Orlando, and what Vince McMahon did, he took over. You know, he lost the XFL again because of the fucking virus. And what he did, and you know what, the XFL had some thing that I think the NFL should take, because I thought the way they did the kickoff and stuff.
I never watched any of the games. You watched a couple that were good?
Yeah, I seen a couple of games, and you know what, it was good. And they started getting the ratings went down a little bit, but they were still getting people at the stadium, and it probably would have been fine. But this coronavirus killed it, and it's funny. Who does Donald Trump cause to be the advisor to start the economy again? He got Vince McMahon, he got Dana White, Mark Cuban, he got the guy Munch, he got a bunch of guys there to try to restart the economy, you know? Because we're going to need a lot of help to restart this economy, man. You know? And check this out, Scott. People are getting unemployment. They're making a little bit more money. You know what? People just chill out and save that money, dude. By the time this is over, you might have like $20,000 in your bank account that you would never have. That might have the economy too. You know what I mean? Hello?
Yeah,
Scotty.
I had a phone call. I'm sorry to interrupt it.
Oh yeah, but that might help the economy.
I couldn't hear you for a second. So tell me what you were saying to help the economy.
Oh, what I was saying, you know what? People are getting these unemployment check and all this stuff. They got nowhere to spend the money. Let me tell you, this lasts a few months, and people are gonna have like $20,000 like in their bank account and shit to be able to go do the shit that they want.
Have a big retirement fund.
Yeah, but I mean, people are actually going to have money because you're not. What can you spend the money on other than buying food? How much food? You're not spending like fucking $3,000.
Well, I spent a lot of money on my bug out bag. Oh, the Rick Grimes axe and all that stuff.
It's fucking crazy. So, Scotty, man, thank you for your time, man. And, you know, hopefully we get out of this thing soon. You know what I mean?
Having a drink with you, buddy.
Yeah, we'll be having a drink soon. But, Scotty, like every show, you know how we end it. Don't get drunk.
All right, you be good, buddy.
I'll see you next time.